Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be optimism is contagious. All right, so I'll get to that in a minute. And take a couple of nice breaths. Say hello to Mr. Finn. He's chilling out here with me. Relax your body. Take a couple of breaths. Breathe in something good. Exhale the negative. All right. So, optimism is contagious. And of course, I'm going to frame this from the standpoint of recovery from TMS, perceived danger pain. But this really extends to everything in life, right? If you hang out with a bunch of depressed, sad people, you're probably going to get more and more like them. If you hang out with a bunch of go-getters, optimistic people who think that, we can make a lot of progress with a whole bunch of stuff, that's contagious, right? And there's an old saying that, your income is going to be the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And obviously there's exceptions to that, but that's a big statement made in the business entrepreneurial world. But I would also say that in the TMS recovery world, your mindset is likely to be about the average of the 5 people you spend most time interacting with. So, it's really important to avoid pessimistic people who don't see any hope of getting better, right? I've talked a number of times about staying out of bad neighborhoods. Those are those chronic pain, chronic illness groups that really don't understand what you do, which is this mind-body concept. Because not only is optimism contagious, so is fear and pessimism, okay? And I can't tell you how many stories I've heard where people say, when I first was coming down with X, Y, and Z, I found this support group, and it terrified me because everybody's talking about their symptoms, their pain, the 42 different things they've tried, all the money they've spent, how much agony they're in. And unfortunately, in the mainstream medical world and in those support groups for those conditions, there's a heck of a lot of pessimism, ton of fear, and the stories they share are actually contagious. Because if any of you have done it, comment below. You'll know that your fear levels went through the roof, and most likely your symptom levels got worse as a result of hearing all of these stories from other people who have no hope, no optimism, just failed treatments, a belief that they're destined to this for the rest of their life. So that's why I say stay out of bad neighborhoods, because it's contagious. If you hang out with a whole bunch of people who see no hope to getting better and just suffering, that's contagious. And if you've been there, get out of those neighborhoods. And it also goes for some TMS neighborhoods as well. And I know it's really tough to moderate and keep the symptom talk down, keep the optimism up. But just note that if you're in a support group and that support group brings more fear and more pessimism, then I will encourage you to think twice, my group included. So optimism is absolutely contagious. If you can surround yourself with people who are on the journey with you and are very optimistic at your prospects of getting better, that's way better than hanging out with people and just complaining to each other, right? It's one of the reasons why in my weekly group coaching call, we really try to minimize symptom talk. And don't get me wrong, it still comes up. It's almost impossible not to have symptoms come up or see people in varying levels of fear and despair, right? But we do our best to support them, give them heavy doses of optimism, but not just optimism. This isn't false hope. This is an accurate, knowledge-based, I think the term that I used today in responding to somebody on YouTube was, to sum up my approach, it's knowledge and safety therapy. Now, the term therapy, I'm not a therapist, but it's a generic term. But I believe the overall approach is knowledge of what this is, it applies to you, belief that you can get better, and safety therapy, which is teaching yourself you're safe emotionally, physically, mentally. We do that through all the things I talk about every single day. Choosing your response to the pain, shifting your attention to living your life, allowing yourself to feel your right now emotions so that you teach your brain that emotions are safe, relaxing your body so that your neurology, your physiology, your subconscious notices, hey, he's relaxed, he's breathing comfortably, he must be safe. And a big one is really to not believe the scary, dark thoughts. Right? Your brain's job is to keep you safe at all costs. And even negative thinking, fearful thinking, catastrophic thinking is coming from a scared brain just trying to warn you to keep you safe. So, optimism is contagious, but so is pessimism. So I'm going to really encourage you to surround yourself with people who are optimistic about your prospects for recovery. I believe in you. I believe in this process. I know people can get better because I see it all the time. And it's tough, especially if your family or friends are kind of like poo-pooing the idea, going, you're kind of crazy, go see a doctor. And I don't know about this mind-body thing. In those cases, I would really strongly encourage you to coach them to say, look, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I love you. I know you care for me. But the last thing I need is you telling me that the approach I am taking, which I know to be the right one, is not going to work. Right? You don't have to explain why. Just say, look, keep your opinion to yourself. I know what I'm doing. I'm on the right path. Right? So if there are people around you who are not overly positive about this, ask them to, shh, I don't want to hear it, right? Now, from the standpoint of moving forward, we've got a great group of people in my public Facebook page and public Facebook group. But in my experience, my weekly group coaching family, the people that attend that, have become an unbelievable source of support and encouragement and optimism. And it never amazes me because somebody might post in our private community Facebook group, say, hey, I'm struggling today, and before you know it, boom, like 10 to 15 to 20 comments from other people within the community encouraging them to keep going, get the mindset right. And a lot of the things that I teach on a daily basis, they get that reminder from a whole host of people, and they get lifted back up. So if you're struggling and you feel like you're falling down mentally, emotionally, mindset-wise, not a sales pitch here, but it's a sales pitch. Let's be truthful. The community is awesome. People are making what they're telling me to be lifetime friends. People that they want to see when they travel. And that's already happening. People are starting to get together within the community. People are talking about flying from Europe to the United States to get together with some of the people they met in this group. It's wild. So, if you want to, catch optimism, find a community that can support you, lift you up, and share their optimism with you. And do your best to stay out of the bad neighborhoods. These things are really important. So, optimism is contagious, but so is pessimism and fear. So, do your best to minimize the pessimism and fear. And if it's yourself that's creating that pessimism and fear, and you're just living inside of your head, See what you can do to shift that, right? The core things that I believe can diminish the fear is accurate knowledge of what's going on. The brain's creating the symptoms, not the body, right? And that should give us a little bit of more comfort, because then we can say, well, my body's not the cause. And with repetition, the brain will eventually start to believe that. But then it's messages of safety. And there's a whole host of them. Many things you can do to make yourself feel safe. So, I'm going to wrap this one up. Hope everybody is doing great today. Love you all. And enjoy your weekend. Or enjoy whatever day you happen to be watching this. So, love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.